All right, I don't know if you get this, but you might be the coolest person in the world, who knows, right? But every now and again, I just meet someone and I'm like, you're too cool to be talking to me. That's exactly how I thought and how I felt chatting to Uploader Molly. She's a seamstress. She's actually worked for brands like Burberry. And not only that, she's a really, really good writer as well. I caught up with Molly a little bit earlier and I asked her what inspired the piece that she sent in to bbc.co.uk/uploads.
BBC Upload with Hannah.
Quiet spaces, reflective spaces, touches on things like smartphone addiction. It touches on things like just a kind of need for this quiet space, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And I think we talk actually quite a lot on this show about third spaces as well. This idea that, like, you know, it's not a coffee shop, it's not at home, but you shouldn't have to spend any money. You just want somewhere to chill. And like, I got that kind of feeling from your poem as well, that it's something that maybe we all crave.
For most people, you probably do need some kind of space for some kind of meditation, whether your meditation is, for example, sewing, or whether it's poetry, or whether it's just being in a quiet space. I think we kind of, in today's kind of busy society, I think we more and more, we're in need of those spaces, and maybe a place of hope as well. Do you find then, when you do spoken word poetry, you're finding other people with similar views like that? Yeah, definitely. So I actually run a poetry open mic night called Rhymes and Vibes in Doncaster.
Love that.
Thank you. And yeah, it does kind of draw people in that have like this need for connection, and that we have like a really nice community going right now. Hopefully we're going to grow it some more, but it's doing quite well. Yeah. So what drew you then to slam poetry in particular, in this style that you've created? I think slam poetry versus poetry is like, poetry can be quite literature based, I think, depending. But with slam, it's like, it's got a really heavy rhythm. You can have like rhymes within a line. Oh, that did rhyme. You can have, it's almost like somewhere between poetry and rap, and I really like that. It's just quite unique in how you can perform it as well. Like, it's just made for performance, I think. Definitely. Yeah. And do you write then and create things thinking, right, this is how it's gonna sound when I step on stage to say this? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I always record myself on my phone when I'm writing my poetry, because I want it. I think the delivery is just as important as the writing with slam poetry. I will record myself on my phone, I'll play it back, I'll perform it to people at home, just to make sure that it sounds right and it gives off the correct vibe. Oh, that's so cool. And I bet then you've got like these video diaries of what your poetry sounded like a year ago, 2 years ago. I do. And I should probably look back at them actually, just to see how much things have changed. Do you get what I mean? She's so cool. Too cool for me. Molly or OJ. She's from Doncaster. And you can see more of her poems and find out more about her open mic as well at rhymesandvibes.co.uk. Moves like Jagger. Haven't heard this in a second.
This is not a library. So, what wrong do you find in me? I find solace and solidity in hardwood carvings. When it comes to soul food, I know I ain't starving. For a new idea or sadness, I just light another candle. For me, your own religion is just too much to handle, so here I focus on my own spirituality. What I believe is real to me and not a fallacy. Where flowers engage sight, meditation does the mind. Designated quiet spaces these days are hard to find. I found one. So why are you mad at me? Is it because now I have a place and a space for me to breathe in a way you don't agree with? People are different. But here is a place where I find commitment to community. That's the true definition of spiritual beauty. Designated quiet spaces these days are hard to find. New technology addiction could mean out of sight and out of mind, and lack of benediction or the blind leading the blind is like a world just full of fiction and not quite the pleasant kind. Safety in an open mind. Time-honoured but ever renewing. These words here are an ever brewing a newfound faith in love and hope. I'd rather you didn't cut the rope, because I finally found what I'm looking for. In this designated quiet space, may I ever be wanting more.